Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, this is from rtnews.com. All right, and here we have another one. Okay, as as we've been talking about these, the different levels that they're gonna start taking to come against those that don't want to receive this jab. So it says, not forced but compulsory. Brazil's Supreme Court paves way for sanctions for refusing the C19 jab. It says Brazil's top court has ruled that citizens can be legally required to take the C19 vaccine or jab, laying the ground for sanctions for those who refuse the jab, despite vehement objections from President Jair Bolsonaro. The federal Supreme Court ruled 10-1 on Thursday that governments at all levels may set out penalties for anyone who declines to take the vaccine or the jab, allowing them to bar citizens from certain public places, among other measures, while Justice Ricardo Lewandowski noted in his majority opinion that forced immunizations would be unconstitutional. He said local, state, and federal officials could impose restrictions on those without the vaccine. Now, this is the level. When you read in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 on down, it talks about how he causeth all, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay. And now the chip by itself is not strong enough to impose all these restrictions, as the scriptures say in verse 17, that no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark or the number of the beast, or Slakia. So the chip by itself, it doesn't have enough justification, it doesn't have enough reasoning, for them to impose such harsh restrictions. However, if you take a potion, from a crisis, and you make this into a health issue, then you can have the Supreme Court make rulings like this, to where people can be penalized for not taking this jab. So now, if they can find a way to justify linking the chip to the jab, or to the vaccine, or to the potion, then the same penalties that will apply to you if you don't take this vaccine will apply to you if you don't take the chip. Okay? They could say, hey, the chip, they might upgrade it over time. They might say now the way to make sure that you have this, that we can validate that you've taken this, this potion is by having verification, something we can scan, something we can make sure, that proves that you've taken this potion. All right. So whatever it is, they're laying the groundwork in terms of how they're going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, because this C19 has affected the whole world. And these requirements are going to be global. Okay, these requirements are going to be global. If you want to, because you could have all the money in the world, but to even go into a store, if they won't let you even enter the store, except you've taken this vaccine, they could easily link it to the chip, man. Okay, as a better way, a better way to track who has it, who doesn't, so on and so forth. So it says each Brazilian will have the obligation to be vaccinated, which does not mean they may be forced to take the jab, said Justice Alexandra de Moraes. Compulsory does not mean that compulsory does not mean that. Compulsory means that any non-compliance will lead to a sanction. Okay. The court also determined in a separate case on Thursday that parents are required, to vaccinate their children. Okay, rejecting an appeal that argued for exemptions based on philosophical, religious, or moral convictions. So you want to go ahead and tell them, oh, it's against my religion or it's against my viewpoint or my belief. They said, no, that's not going to work here. None of that. All right. They said parents are required. Now, once again, as the guy said himself, required. So if you don't do it, this is what's going to happen. If your children don't have vaccine, they ain't going to school. All right. It says, while Bolsonaro has pledged to make the C19 vaccine available to the public once Brazilian regulators give a green light to one of the inoculations under consideration, he has vocally rejected the mandatory vaccine drive, suggesting citizens could be placed under house arrest for turning down the jab, among other restrictions. So this president is not with it, all right? But this isn't. It's not up to him. It's not up to him. If he is trying to go against what these elites want, they could just take him out of there. All right, and then you also have something called controlled opposition. You got to make it look as though it's realistic by having some form of friction and resistance in between, but still having your agenda win at the end. It says nobody can force anybody to take the vaccine. We're dealing with lives. Where is our freedom? He said, following the court's decision, later adding, what did the court decide? If you do get a vaccine, I, the president of the republic, governors, mayors, can impose restrictive measures on you. You can't get a passport. You can't get a driver's license. You can be put under house arrest. Look how beautiful it is. House arrest. All right. So they could put you under house arrest. Now, here's the thing. When you put somebody under house arrest, how are you going to make sure they're not leaving their house? All right. They're going to have ankle monitors. All right. Basically treat you like prisoners. Okay. As if you've committed a crime. Well, better be ready. Says the president also insisted that he would not be vaccinated himself, arguing that he already has immunity, all right, to this C19 after contracting it earlier this year, while also pointing to potential adverse side effects and the lack of legal liability for vaccine development. Exactly. And they came out and said, look, if something happens to you, man, we're not legally liable for that. All right. He said there's in the Pfizer contract. All right. Or there in the Pfizer contract, it is quite clear that they are not responsible for any side effects. If you become an alligator, it's your problem. He said, what is worse is tampering with people's immune systems. So he's clearly not with it. All right. Nonetheless, as we're going to read here, all right, I'm just going to jump down to the ending. It says, however, with recent polling suggesting that some 22% of Brazilians are opposed to taking the jab, it's unclear how many skeptics would follow the president's lead and outright refuse the jab, thereby risking the penalties authorized by Thursday's court ruling. So now you can be penalized, all right, for not taking a jab, as the Supreme Court ruled in Brazil. All right, now, could they do that here? Yes, they can. Could they do it in the UK? Yes, they can. Could they do it in different parts of the world? Of course they can. All right, and this is the future that's coming. And this is going to lead to Revelation 13 and 16, as I'm quoting. All right, and as it says, he causeth all, both small and great. Matter of fact, let's go to it real quick. All right, because when you look up the word causeth, all right, it basically says to make ready. And that's what they're doing right now. They're making ready the infrastructure, the norm, the new normal. And all they got to do is just substitute the chip for the jab the same way they're going to substitute the jab for the masks. All right. And let's look up Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, when we look up the word causeth, all right, it says here, poeo, to make, construct, form, fashion. So to make ready, to prepare. So he prepares all right, to receive the mark. Okay, so he's going to poeo, he's going to cause, he's going to prepare the people to receive that mark. Okay, and how is he doing that? By conditioning the minds to accept a system that says you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this if you haven't received authorization through our vaccination, through us putting something into your body. And he's also conditioning people's minds to get ready to show proof of vaccination before you can be allowed into certain areas. So restrictions for those who don't want to show it. This is a form of causing and preparing people's minds. So when the chip comes, it's going to be the same regulations, if not worse. But people are already used to that because that's what they've been going through for a year, all right, or almost a year with vaccine. That's what they're trying to do. Okay. So, hey, we're going to see, man. But there's going to come a point very soon when they're going to finally break the ice with the chip and link it in with vaccine somehow, all right? And then they're going to make their big push for it. Okay, so we waiting, man. We waiting and we watching these prophecies, all right, come to pass. Okay, and Lord willing, the days speed up more so that these prophecies can come to pass quicker and we can get delivered out of here, man. All right. But with that, I'm going to end it off here. Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. All right, you got a lot of things going on with this jab, man. You got nurses fainting. All right, there's right here, nurse faints moments after receiving it. All right, you got them basically putting empty syringes. You know, it's so much going on this, man. All right, so hey, we just got to keep our eyes open. All right, and watch, man, and keep our trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, not Esau. All right, and not in no pseudoscience, man. All right, so with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.